is well aware, we've had a very somber last several days, and with the loss of two of our officers, Sergeant Lee Sorensen and Officer Eric Estrada, and our Sheriff's Deputy Mike Allred and his dog Azula, who were wounded. And it became clear to me that there were others that were involved, citizens that were also involved in trying to bring this situation to, bring the situation down to, can't even imagine. It's hard for me to even comprehend, even to this day, what has just happened to us. Our hearts go out to the families of our two officers and to Deputy Allred. Our hearts go out to him and pray for his recovery, full recovery, as soon as possible. This has just been a really difficult time for all of us, for the whole community, everybody. And so what I'd like to ask for a moment of silence for us to think about what has occurred, and we'll have to start that right now. Thank you. Oh, sorry, I apologize. Thank you, everybody. We'll begin our program, our meeting tonight. I'd like to start out with a prayer from our council member Vonk, and then following him, we'll have a pledge led by Wes Eastep, and then we'll go to that point. Thank you.
Our Father in heaven, we're indeed grateful for Thee. We ask Thee to please be with us tonight and for the days to come. Father, we ask Thee to please especially be with the families of Lee and Eric. We pray that they may watch over their family members and that they may know the love and support that we have for them. Father, we ask Thee also to please be with the little ones in our community that are surely shaken by these events. We're grateful that the school district has seen the need to take a step back and to allow more grieving and for those to be off that can attend the funerals for these fine men. Father, please be with the officers in both Tremont and Garland and Brigham, and pray that they may all know that we as a community love and support them. Father, we pray that we'll continue to not shy away from the somber feelings that we've had, and that this event will continue to bring us closer. How tragic it is, but pray that good will come from this. We're thankful for this wonderful community and the wonderful people that live here, and the joy and the satisfaction that comes from the community members. Father, please watch over this community. Help us to heal, but also help us to never forget. We love Thee, we're grateful for Thee, and we need Thee in our lives. And we say these things in the sacred name of Thy Son, even Jesus Christ. Amen.
The audience, please rise and repeat the Pledge of Allegiance after me, with me.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll go ahead and I'll just quickly introduce everybody. I think most everybody knows us up here. But we've got Lindsay, who is acting as our city manager, Lindsay Nessen, Bo Lewis, just quickly go through yours, Brandon Bong, Blair Westergaard, myself, Brett Rohde, Wes Eastep, and then we've got Cynthia Nelson over here. Our police chief has stepped out. They're awfully busy getting ready for the viewings and the funerals. And I think also the fire chief, Jeff Jarrow. We've got Carl Mackley, our public works director, and Jeff Seedall, our planner. We're grateful for you coming out here tonight. Thank you very much. With that, council, are there any conflicts of interest with the agenda meeting tonight?
No.
Hearing none, we'll go forward and approve the agenda. I need a motion to approve the agenda for this evening.
I can make a motion.
Motion, we approve the agenda.
Motion by Blair,
A second.
by Brandon. All in favor?
Yes.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes for August 5th, 2025 and August 18th, 2025. Any questions on the minutes?
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes of August 5 and August 18.
I'll second.
By Wes and seconded by Bo. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I think we turn this time over to our recorder, Cynthia, and she's going to go over the canvas for the 2025 election, for the primary.
This is a formality. We had 5,496 total registered voters, 1,686 ballots cast with a percentage of registered voters of 30%. There were 1,028 on election night. They counted 18%. This goes through and shows, and it's several pages long, you guys have received them. We have two candidates left in the mayor race. That would be Brett and Lyle. And then for our 4-year city council seats, we have Brian Bolingbrook, Brent Jenks, Bo Lewis, and Brandon Long that received the highest amount, so they'll go on to the municipality general. And then the 2-year, we have Christy Boca, Wes Eastep, Jamie Poppleton, and Shari Orya that will move on to the general. Do you have any questions on it? You guys received it already.
Do we need a motion to?
No, I
Nope.
just need to present it. If you need to sign it, we'll send it to the state.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks, Cynthia. All right, let's move on to, no motion on this one.
Thank you.
All right, public comments. This is an opportunity to address the city council regarding your concerns or ideas that are relevant to municipal business. We ask that you keep your comments to under 3 minutes. The time is now yours.
Christy Boca. I spoke with Officer Cordova and Skylar for a minute before the meeting started. And I want to be part of the talking solution. I don't want to be part of the problem. Unless you know someone that's gone through a domestic violence it's hard to put into words what they're thinking, why they're not doing what we think as individuals they should be doing. If you haven't been through that, you see it one-sided. Well, what is your problem? What is her problem? Why doesn't she leave? Yada, yada, yada. And I've watched that firsthand. It's ugly. It's hard. Not with Val and I. Okay, I'm just putting it out there, not Val and I. With the second husband, with the person that I love very, very much, it was Val and I that took her away from the situation. She couldn't do it herself because you're beaten down mentally and emotionally and you're threatened. And so I told them if they ever want to have a discussion, I want to be part of that discussion because I see it from a different viewpoint. People that were in place with the state of Utah failed 150%. I ended up getting one fired, and I'm not going to say sorry for that one. People that were there that should have been protecting, actually at one point looked at this person, and I'm not going to tell you who it is, and said, "You allowed it to happen. It's your fault." That is so not true. And as we go through what we've been through, a lot of people have said, "Well, why didn't she just leave?" It's not that easy. It's really not that easy. It's a hard, ugly cycle. And so if there comes a time that we want to come together, I would like to be part of that talking point because I've been there and done that. It's ugly. That's all.
Christie? Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate those comments. New council business, we have discussion and consideration of approving resolution number 25-41, authorizing the transfer of funds from the police department, from the police fleet budget to the police department budget for the purchase of tasers. We talked about this earlier, council.
I make a motion that we put, pass resolution 2541 to transfer them funds.
All right,
Can I-
motion. Well, discussion?
Yeah, do we even need a resolution? It's their budget, and so.
It's their budget. I probably, maybe this is more of a formality, but
Yeah, I don't know that we need to formalize it with a resolution.
There's a bid in there.
it's,
That thing that we're gonna change, so if it's in there, they can.
I have a motion by Blair. Do I have-
I'll second the motion.
Yeah, it's already in the budget.
Semantics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, we'll start over here with you, Brandon.
I approve.
Yes.
Larry, yes.
Brett, yes.
Wes, yes.
Okay, motion passes. Thank you, everybody. Discussion and consideration of approving resolution number 25-42, reaffirming, amending, and enacting new fees and fines, including the collection fees. Is this going to be you, Jeff, or is this going to be,
This is
Lindsay.
just, and help me fill in the blanks, Cynthia, if I miss. So our collection company that we use when we can't collect on an ambulance bill, utility bill, whatever, they charge us an 18% fee.
Yep.
And if it's not in our fee schedule, we cannot pass that off to the person. So we're eating that 18%.
okay,
So all we're doing is adding language in here that says if you get sent to collections, we're passing that 18% fee off onto you.
So it was just that one sentence, wasn't it? Yeah.
Wow.
hey, all right.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution 25-42.
I'll second it.
Motion by Wes and seconded by Brett. Let's see, Bo?
Bo, yes.
Larry, yes.
Brett, yes.
Wes, yes.
Brandon, yes.
All right, motion passes, thank you. Discussion and consideration of approving resolution number 25-43, adopting the Hidden Valley Development Agreement. This is you, Jeff.
Hi, council. This is a development that's been going over Just south of the canal and just off the west side of 2300 West, so McDonald's area, part of town. The developers have started this process with, I believe it was Sean, and then they've come all the way to here, so we're finalizing it. The one caveat, just to keep the council informed, previous administrations were very ambitious to have development agreements with every development in every phase, and I haven't found that to be as necessary. So when I bring developments to the council for approval, it will be because something needs to be in writing. The developers and the DRC or the staff have come to an agreement on. And that way we know when something kind of unique is there and we don't get it lost. One of those, for example, would be anytime a PUD gets adopted and a developer chooses to use that, we'll have development agreements outlining how conditions were met and bring it to the council. With Hidden Valley, the special condition I wanted, Cynthia, if you don't mind scrolling down, I can't remember what page, but let's see here. There was one. No, actually, it's in D. It's special condition 2D. Or no. Okay, so my lettering's off. We'll just keep scrolling down a little. Where to go? A little further. Okay. Where did it go? Down further. Okay. No, there's one about a storm drain basin, which is really what the special condition is in this regard. As part of this development this development is part of the watershed for the basin that'll be known as Stokes Park that's right along BR Mountain Road. Because that pond isn't built and because the storm drain infrastructure hasn't tied into it yet, because there's farmland in between, we've come to an agreement with the developers that 3 of their lots that could be sold for houses will be a temporary retention pond. There it is, that D, a little further, that D. So they will be using 3 of their lots that could have been used for homes as a temporary storm drain basin until the 2 provisions are met, that Stokes Park is built and the storm drain infrastructure is tied into it. At that time, the council, which likely will not be any of you, will have to make the decision on giving them the first right of refusal to not develop out those lots. If for whatever reason they decide not to anymore, then the council can decide what to do with those 3 lots, whether we sell them at market price or whatever. But that's what these 3 paragraphs cover, is the agreement to meet their storm drain requirements, to meet city code, but also the provision that once our master basin, they're connected to it, that they can have those lots back. So these are the kind of conditions we'll bring and I'll highlight with development agreements going forward. The DRC's reviewed this and has been working with them and came to this agreement. Dustin Erickson, our city attorney, has looked through this and is okay with the language. So it's just to you guys now.
So there will be adequate stormwater management in place before.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this will be a temporary one until we get our regional basin built.
That was the one question I had.
How temporary though? They're not gonna sod it and all that, are they?
No, they are. They will.
They're gonna
Yeah,
sod
they're
and
gonna have to
sprinkler
meet.
and-
They're gonna have to meet city standards for a retention basin because it won't be able to release anywhere. So that'll hold the 100-year, 24-hour event. And then once the basin is done, they'll just be able to let it flow down to that holding spot.
And they'll just put dirt back in there and build houses or something.
Yep.
Great.
If you can go to the map, it's 84? 94, yeah. The road coming up from 2300, right when it hits the subdivision there, there's that little jog where the road narrows a little.
Oh, yeah.
Is that of concern?
No, that width.
I just wonder
there-
about snow plowing and all that.
No,
with
that width there still meets the 60-foot requirement.
But I mean, we'll make it a little bit smoother transition along that
Yeah.
rather
no.
than a,
No, you'll see that. Yeah.
That right
it's,
there.
It's not that. I don't even
Is
know
that
what
the
size it is.
existing home right there? Is that why the jog is there?
It probably is. Um,
I think it is. I think that's the existing home.
Yeah, them ain't no fun in case you wanted to know. There's one of them on 450 off of 23 where that new school's gonna go. About that far, and if you're not, first time plowers go wham.
So where's the ponds on this map?
the ponds will be in the southwest corner, lots 11, 12, and 13, right there.
Okay.
okay.
Council?
Carl, it's up to you to make sure that jog don't. It's a smooth plow and jog. Okay. That's gonna work then. I'll make a motion, we approve resolution 23-43, or 25-43.
I'll second.
Motion by Wes and seconded by Bo. Let's see, I think Blair, you're up.
Blair, yes.
Right, yes.
Wes, yes.
Brandon, yes.
Bo, yes.
Discussion and consideration of approving resolution number 25-44, adopting a professional services agreement with BCBO for architectural services for phase 1 of the sports complex. And we're back to you, Jeff.
So we had 8 proposals come in, was part of this, and we reviewed them. The selection committee was me and Sam Taylor with Landmark and Zach. They went through, we shortlisted 3, and then we actually were able to spend time and interview each of the firms in person. I asked Sam Taylor to be a part of it because he'd worked with many of the firms with his company Landmark Design, and I thought his value in knowing some of the people would help make a decision. In the end, we came down with and selected VCBO. Brett, being with the school district, may be able to tell you that VCBO does this. This is their bread and butter sport. Their list of projects that they have done, like the sports complex, is 2.5 pages long in their proposal. They've done the South Davis ice sheet down in Bountiful, and I reference that because I know Bo's seen it. They're doing the new baseball stadium up at the U. They also did the sports complex near the U that Salt Lake County took over. They did the county ice rink in Murray as well. So sports complexes, these kind of things, it's really what they're meant to do. This, we feel, is we started this process after getting results with the survey that we put out for the Parks Master Plan. Right now, this would be able to fill 10 out of the 12 team sports that were listed in the survey, along with a handful of classes that we could do that were also in feedback. And I think most importantly out of the survey, and it still surprises me, but pickleball will be addressed here as some of the multi-use courts in the interior. So this sports complex is hopefully going to fill a large need in Tremonton. I knew what this fee was likely going to be, and it's part of the budget that I set in one of my line items in the planning department. So I've known this is a line item I'd been preparing for.
So it is budgeted.
Yeah.
So if I may, I've been really looking at this today, and what the point isn't, are we going to approve the 45,000 or not? Because that's already been proved.
Yeah.
Okay, it's, are we going to approve the agreement or not? And so, and then Jeff, the question I would have for you is, I think the public needs to understand, because we're doing this doesn't mean we're building it.
Right.
Okay, can you go kind of through the process of how this process will move along and where that will include the public and the public input?
So phase 1 is simply fact finding, and it's bringing professionals in that'll help refine and create hopefully a more economic layout than I was able to. My background is what the site needs to look like on the outside of the building and a lot less of what the building does internally. So VCBO is going to be able to offer a lot of ways to make the building economical. They'll bring in a lot of great expertise in seeing how we can make this and generally what the price tag is. So once we get through phase one, we'll be able to understand what the cost of the building is. We'll be able to understand what its service capacity is, and then we'll be able to present it to the public and have some answers ourselves in the direction we're going. The end of phase one will start the ability for us to begin conversations for fundraising. It's not my intention right now that we as a city pay for this building. There is money out there to be found, and it'll be my job after phase one finishes to go find it. I think this will be a huge economic development to the city.
There's already been
Yeah.
mentions of offers from organizations, but they're essentially asking for this part to be done, the economic studies, the infrastructure. They need to understand that we're at least that far along before they start offering up donations. So
I've spoken with private clubs around the region too that are anxious to have facilities that this would offer, that they could work with the city and utilize it. So we'll take some lessons learned from other joint adventures and from throughout the northern part of the state and be very careful with the negotiations. But I know there's plenty of private equity out there that can help us get this going. But we need to know first, what is it gonna look like and what can it offer to the people?
And there will be a portion of it that will, as a city, will, soccer fields or
Yeah,
those kinds of things are things that we'll pick up.
yeah, so, I mean, ideally, my
Whose car?
everyone,
Hey,
mine.
oh,
you're just trying to get out of it.
Yeah. Oh no. My vision for this is we would be able to really utilize it on weekends for youth sports. I know Lindsay is one of many parents in this community that drive to North Ogden, Logan every weekend to go play sports. So my hope is that economically this will just really be used on the weekend to host and have a revenue source. But during the week when things are slower, the public will be able to utilize all of its facilities then for rec leagues and whatever else Zach and I can come up with for uses.
I got one question. Was everybody's bid that 6% of construction cost? Is that a standard?
Actually, VCBO was the only one that included that, and when we were going through the interview processes with two others, 6% was the lowest as well. Most of them were in the 6.5% to 7.5% range. So I found that as a vote of confidence from VCBO that they know they can do this and they can do it more economically for the city than others were willing to commit to.
Because that'll be huge on total.
Oh, it'll be a nice chunk of change. So I would say too, just as out of the 8 bids we got, VCBO, we ranged from about 125,000 down to 15,000. I don't know how you write an RFP and get that much of a standard deviation in fees, but out of the 3 we interviewed, VCBO was competitive, and they all came in at about the same 45 to 60,000.
Any other questions for Jeff?
Just to maybe send this home a little bit, we just did a bid for covered parking at the hospital, and that it's going to cost about $200,000, and it cost us $15,000 for someone to draw that up for us.
Wow.
Is someone that came out of this line of work? I'm like, yeah, that. So it's funny how fast engineers can spend your money. Just ask them.
All right, council? Are we ready for a decision here?
I make a motion that we approve resolution 2545. Oh, no, 544, adopting the professional service agreements with BCBO.
Motion by Blair,
I can second.
second by Brandon. Let's see.
Brett, aye.
West, yes.
Brandon, yes.
Bo, yes.
Larry, yes.
Okay, motion passes. Okay, item E, discussion and consideration of approving resolution number 25-45, the aging services contract for fiscal year 2020, fiscal year 26. So I can address this a little bit. This is something we do every year. The contract is about $106,000 that we'll receive from Bragg. And I suggest we go ahead and do this. I know there's some issues we've got with some of the communities, you know, helping us out and with their folks that are
Just their share of their.
just their share. Yeah, exactly. And so we're still working on that. We'll continue to work on that, but I really feel like this is something that we need to, you know, this is something for the population that is a fairly, it's a vulnerable population that we need to take care of. And we'll work with the other communities and hopefully get them to come around a little bit.
I'll make the motion, we approve resolution 25-45 because I am getting in the age
Second.
of using it.
Motion by
I do
West,
just want to
second by
throw
Blair.
one quick warning
Yeah,
out,
is
you
there
know,
discussion?
just that if Bragg's funding, there's a thing in there that says that it could be reduced if for any reason, you know, there's something that goes on. So I just want to throw out that, you know, if it were to be reduced, we do need to be prepared that we would have to make adjustments. And
We would have to
so I'm
make
just
adjustments. At this point,
just saying it out loud. It's not that I'm against that in any way. Yeah.
It's difficult enough as it is.
Yep.
But again, you know, this is a population that I feel like
Yeah.
is, it's important.
I agree, and I'm more just speaking from a, you know, business standpoint of financials.
I get
We
it.
just
4
need
years
to
I've been
think
here,
through
Bragg's
that.
never pulled money back.
And I don't anticipate it.
Yeah,
So.
Have you since you've been?
all
here?
right, let's see, we got a motion and a second, motion by West and seconded by Blair.
West, yes.
Brandon, yes.
Oh, yes.
Larry, yes.
Brett, yes.
Okay, very good. All right, consent agenda, discussion and approval of Lindsay Nesson as our interim city manager. As we all know, Bill, I think his first day on the job down in Grantsville is today, so he left for a different position down there, and we wish him well. But in the meantime, we need to have somebody that we can, city manager, and so Lindsay agreed to step in and help us out. There will be the
Stipend.
stipend, that's the word I was looking for, couldn't find it. There will be a stipend that'll compensate Lindsay for this responsibility. And anyway, so here we are.
To make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
I really approve Lindsay as the city manager for the interim.
Okay, thanks, Brett. Second.
I'll second.
Second by Bo. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Calendar items, review of the calendar. We will not have city council next week, September the 2nd. But there will be on September the 9th, there will be a special meeting. And maybe, Bo, do you want to address that a little bit?
Yeah, just invite city council members
This will
and
be the planning commission night.
public
So
to
We're just inviting all the council to be there and all the public.
yeah, to hear a workshop. The developer's going to be addressing some of the questions that have been raised around, you know, some of their development up on the Radio Hill area, and we just want to make sure that everybody's had a chance to be heard, and we'll be teeing those questions up based off of the things that we've been hearing, and the public will have the opportunity to hear us
Is this
address those
specific to the
questions.
overlook, is that what you're
Yeah.
saying about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Specific to the
Up
overlook?
on the hill there and
Okay.
then possibly up further.
And as I recall, this is a workshop, so this will be informational.
Informational.
They'll be giving information out to the public and try
That's
to
right.
answer their questions.
Yeah.
And then later, they'll have a town hall where they can open it up for.
There, and potentially some interaction there for being able to get me questions that can be asked in that workshop, not directly the public asking, but live, questions and iteration there. So we just want to make sure that the public has been heard and had their questions answered, many of which we've already heard the concerns. So we want to address them
5:30,
with the
right?
developer.
Well, that depends. Are we doing the work session, this, and then planning commission afterward, or is this?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So
And we'll be timely.
What time's that start?
We'll end on time.
So 5:30.
5:30?
all right, I went over the Main Street Committee has been really busy trying to put together an open house on Main Street. We're excited about the direction we're going and the funding that's going to be available to us. We're really excited about that. So what they've done, and sounds like we don't have a for sure date yet, but it'll be at the end of September. The end of September. It's going to be called the Main Street Showcase. It'll be located, as last I heard, it's going to be over at the fairgrounds in the Home Arts Building. And so it's a little hard at the end of September to really know what the weather's going to be like. So the option was to go to the fairgrounds. We're excited about that. That date will be announced soon, but they don't have a for sure date on that right now. Then the city party.
Mayor, so what meeting did you call that? A show?
They're
showcase?
calling it the Main Street Showcase is
Okay, showcase.
what the Main Street Committee is going to call this.
And so
So
a
it's an open
showcase.
and it'll be an open house, not so much a town hall.
Okay.
It'll be an open house where we're going to be able to show the layout of Main Street and so people can kind of get an idea what it's going to look like, the lighting and so
What
forth.
night of the week will that be, or do you know?
Well, we were going to do it the 27th, but then Cassie, did you talk to Cassie?
It looks like it's going to be on the 29th.
Oh, that's a Monday, right?
Yes, on a Monday night.
On a Monday night, okay. Okay, I wasn't sure she wasn't sure, and so I guess you figured it out now, huh?
It's kind of there. We got most of the votes in for the 29th right now.
29th, okay. Thank you for that update. But anyway, it's going to be really neat, and we'll be able to kind of show some of the Main Street Committee, but Sam and Taylor and Jeff and Chris Bryan Holt have really worked hard on getting it to this point, so I think we really have something to showcase. ULCT coming up, council, who would like to go? It's the 1st and 2nd of October. I think I'm going to go.
I'm going.
Okay.
I've answered.
Okay, so we're all going to go. Okay, very good. Farmers markets.
No, you missed the city party.
Oh, the party. Okay. City party on the 18th of September.
Earl, you know what you gotta do for city party, right? Everything.
What is the city
Give me
party?
fair warning. Huh?
What is it?
I know he didn't ask
Just
for
bring the trailer with all the grills on it. We'll
much. Be ready to cook and clean and wash.
Open to anyone?
City
Oh, for employees and found, okay.
Employees.
Okay, so, we're winding down on our farmer's market. We'll go through, September and into October a little bit and then to get out. So that's just sort of the calendar. I'm trying to get through this meeting without dragging it on too long. Let's see, reports, administration, do you have anything for us?
You forgot unfinished business if anybody
Is
had
there any
any.
unfinished business? Oh, you're just keeping me right on track. Okay. Unfinished business action items or anything?
Gotta assign Wes something, the way he's acting.
Did
What do they
we,
call that in Congress, a whip or something like that?
did we hear back from the power company over there and figure out our issue with the, over in River's Edge? Did that get
Power
resolved?
and the
Oh, with those.
The one
power
on 12th.
poles?
There was some,
You were gone?
yeah, the polls. Somebody's waiting on somebody, and did we figure that out?
On 1200 South.
Oh, no, we're talking over here at River's Edge.
Well, we were,
But there's also
I
the
was stuck
1200
more-
south.
Yeah, there's two of them, I
the one
think.
down here,
Your question is about Rocket Road moving?
Yeah, let's start with Rocket Road.
Rocket Road.
I just know there was discussion about some power poles, and so I'm just following up on
Bill
that.
was gonna find out, cause we heard that we needed to
We have a
pay.
date. It's a September date for Rocky Mountain Power to.
Cool.
Okay, all right. Yeah, so Andrew has been in charge of corresponding with Rocky Mountain Power. They have a September date. So it's fully in their court. It's moving along. We've done everything.
Are they just moving poles or are they burying it?
They,
They have to bury, I think, because of the widening.
I know that they have to contract it out. They won't do it themselves. They are contracting it out. And I think that's the September date. So when I say, and I'm not saying the September date, because I don't remember exactly what it is. I think it might be like about the 18th-ish, but I think that's when they were putting it out. So,
And correct me if I'm wrong, once them power poles are gone, we bought and paid for everything that we're gonna do there, correct? Has that not been in our budget? The widening of the bridge,
Yeah.
the sidewalk, and I'm sure that we've seen, they wanna, when they widen the bridge, make sure that the kids can get across it.
A bridge for the sidewalk.
Yeah, for the sidewalk and all that.
yeah, we don't have final engineering plans on that, so.
Oh.
We can get good feedback from people if we want. I know there was a lot of interest there. I'd love to hear a little bit more about that. Maybe some of you have heard more than I have.
Well, the biggest thing is where we gotta widen that road right on that bend of that canal. The canal company had concerns there, but we wanna go back to the other side, on the north side, and tie it in from where our pump is. You know, it'll be a little bit of an angle where our pumps sit and the sidewalk to tie into them townhomes.
And I've pressured Chris a little bit on that. He doesn't want to put it out until January-ish timeframe because,
But it,
Don't we need to do the canal before
the canal while it's out.
yeah.
It has to happen in the winter, right? Correct?
Yeah, in the off-season.
Yeah,
Double check, get back with us, would you?
yep,
That's all we can ask.
yeah.
DRC committee, anything?
My turn to sit up, Mike. Seat likes you more.
Not too much. We're working with Chris and Carl. We're going to be updating Title II and Title III of our code, which covers subdivisions and development standards. We talked about it at the last DRC, and I mean, it's something we'll take care of now, just kind of internally as the three of us. But we think there's some ways to simplify and declare. Simplify some things, add some clarification and some hillside standards, so that as we get development on Radio Hill, we have some better design standards in place that, I mean, they're kind of industrial standards, but having them in writing obviously helps with enforcing them. So that's, besides that, just some development approvals for what's ongoing right now. Nothing new.
Any questions for Jeff? All right. Council reports. Let's see, Brandon, do you want to start?
Department heads.
I am. Okay,
Already heard from Carl and me.
Well, we just gotta ask you if you got any more.
Okay, Carl, got anything else for us?
Yeah. I like being up here. I don't like that chair. I just don't.
You want this one?
No. Just wanted to report a little bit on water, culinary water. There's a lot of needs that we have there, and there's a lot of signs that we have let things go a little bit long. We've had several breaks on Tremont Street. We've had several breaks on First West also, and those roads are in the works to replace water lines down there. They're very old. They're cast iron. They just keep shattering, honestly, and it's, you know, so it's going on. It's gone on a while, and I'm not sure, you know, if we want to wait even 1 or 2 more years. It's something that I'm looking at pretty closely, but we just keep breaking there and fixing it. And let me just let you know about another culinary water issue. We had a sanitary survey. I told you about that a couple of months ago. What I didn't know at the time was what our results were from the sanitary survey. That's when the state comes out every 3 years and evaluates our water system. And our water system is safe, and we have good, clean drinking water. But they have cracked down on being very particular about infrastructure type, and we have a lot of old infrastructure. Our tanks are old. Several of our pipelines are old. Hatches and fencing and gaskets and things like that. And they issued us a lot of points. And I think it was so many points, actually, and I'll tell you in a second how many points it was, but it was so many points that they had to meet about the assessment that they gave us. And I think they figured that they were a little excessively hard on us. So I'm not entirely sure what that's going to end up meaning, but if you're assessed 150 points, you're out of compliance. We were assessed 815 points, and it's minor things, and it's really subjective. One person could come and have common sense and say, okay, yeah, that's fine, and another person could come and say, letter of the law, I'm going to write you up. And that's kind of the situation that we find ourselves in now. Anytime they assess points, we have 120 days from the date that those points were assessed to address that. I've talked to the mayor about this. We can clean up those points and get under the 150 within the 120 days that they give us. It's probably going to cost us about $50,000 to do that. And I'm happy to do it, actually, because my personal philosophy is, if their expectation is here, I would like to be here. And that's something, it made me mad at first, but we can react appropriately by exceeding expectations, and that's what I plan to do. But there's just a lot of water. We have old and aging water infrastructure, and we are and will be ongoing replacing things. But I think that certain things have gone on for probably longer than should be, and so we will be making those improvements. But it concerns me. But it's
Priority list of something that must be replaced that should be discussed further.
Public Works Director. 850 points. Come on.
well, a lot of it is gaskets. A lot of it
All fixable. Or you talked
we
about.
can get
the
we can get under the 150 points. There's a few lingering things that are sort of property related. For example, our spring area, maybe you're familiar with it, maybe you have no idea, but down by the river in Deweyville, there are number of springs that the city owns. That's our main water supply, and they're fantastic springs. It's great water quality. They produce very well. We've made some recent improvements there. Actually, we've had in our North Spring, we've had a pump and motor fail just recently, and I've talked to Jason, and luckily our budget was enough to address these current concerns, at least as far as the sanitary survey goes, and some improvements that I would like to make on the North Spring down there. We do not have budget this year to replace water lines, but that's something that is ongoing. We will continue to fund that.
You kind of talked about some of the growth and everything around the pumps and everything that we needed to kind of, those are things that we can clear up and, around the pump house.
Yeah, so we get points assessed for having woody vegetation, trees and shrubs and all that kind of stuff, which is really hard to do when it's a 50-foot perimeter around the collection area, and we own the collection areas, but we don't own that 50-foot perimeter. And so there's certain battles that, we just deal with them. We'll have some points assessed to us. We'll be within compliance and whatever. Anywho, it's not a doom and gloom thing. It's just, I'm just letting the council understand that, there's a lot of signs. You look for signs at replacing and, any infrastructure, and a good operator is worth a lot when they are regularly keeping records of things that they see, and we can make little corrections and fixes and things as we go. But some of these things are old and aging and ongoing, and they just need to be fixed. That's about it. Do you have any questions? Any more questions?
You got your
Great.
truck yet?
Nope, don't have a truck yet. Been bugging them all week. It's been at their, it just doesn't have the bed on it yet. It's been at their facility since February. So,
I think we gotta look at that.
I do too.
Remember when we approved that, we bought that little more expensive
We
truck.
paid more money because they had
We
it.
could have it in 90
So-
days, and we're,
and I would like to find record of that, because we've brought that up to them, and I don't know where that is found. They
it's on the
don't,
bed. I'll bet
they
we
don't
can
agree
find
with
the
that?
beds on them snowplow trucks.
Who is it that's supposed to do it?
it's at Young Automotive. And they're the ones putting the
Yeah,
bed on.
I think it's time we get at least,
Is it Young we have the agreement with, or is it whoever we bought it with gave it to us at 90 days, but now Young's trying?
yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Well, I think it is, I think
didn't
it
have
is
an
with Young
agreement.
Automotive. They just go through a different vendor to get the
I
chassis,
thought it was, isn't it like a Freightliner or
the
something?
Freightliner chassis.
Yeah.
But
They said they had the chassis, they had the bed, they had the plow, and we can have it to you. And
We paid more because they had it, because everybody,
we thought we was gonna need it last winter to plow.
mhm.
And
Let's
it
get
don't
it
look
so we
like
don't
we're
need
gonna
it.
get it this winter to plow.
Yeah. I mean, Dusty and I have both bugged them all week, this week. The response is non-existent.
How much money did we put down on it? Just a few questions to
It's-
think.
I think-
because
it's the same everywhere.
I think we've spent a couple $100,000 on it. Like, we've spent all the money already. We're at their mercy. We're waiting for them to respond and put the
Okay,
bed on.
stay on them, please.
You bet.
And then I would just ask that we keep updating our capital asset schedules for what these modifications are that you're seeing, as you're seeing lines that need replaced. Let's make sure that far before we get into the budget season, that we
Yeah.
know what we're up against.
Yeah.
So if you could, that'd be really
I
helpful.
mean, I think we ought to do some tank inspections and things like that too. I mean, tanks can be old, but they might still be in great shape, you know?
Oh, they have a group that like that, go in them, dive in them.
Oh, there's a number of potable divers out there, and it's fairly inexpensive. I mean, it's like, you can probably do a couple tanks for $5,000, and, I mean, maybe that sounds like a lot of money, but and maybe it is, but it's a lot cheaper than buying a new tank.
So, Carl, could you address, you and I talked about this, but I had a citizen bring up the idea of, for culinary water, of exploring filtration systems like off the Bear River or whatnot to provide culinary water, and I thought you'd be the best person to answer that question for
You
him.
bet.
Bear River, yeah, that,
So, the people have been wanting to develop the Bear River since the 80s. And in 1992, the state legislature responded with the Bear River Development Act. And so, I mean, the concept of developing the Bear River water is there. There's challenges though. Can we clean it up? Yeah, we can clean it up. It'll cost quite a bit. I don't know if you know this, but the city of Evanston gets their main drinking water source is the Bear River. Of course, if you've seen the Bear River in Evanston,
That's just what I was gonna say.
you know it doesn't look like the same Bear River as
It looks better in Preston than.
down here. The technology is there, we can clean it up. The biggest challenge really is that's an economy of scale type project. For Tremont and City to try and do a project, I think it would price us out very quickly. And so it would have to be like a larger community, maybe countywide or regional type project. But the big challenge is water rights wise. You got Bear River Canal Company that takes 900 CFS out between their two canals, and then there has to be 1,000 CFS left in the river for the bird refuge. And so the only time that amount of the water would even be available would be during spring runoff. And that's what the Bear River Development Project is really all about, is storing that runoff water as it's available. And I would say the hydrology since 1992 hasn't improved any, and so, and now also with the Great Salt Lake, the opportunity to develop that water is extremely difficult to do.
one thing to kind of address maybe what this citizen was kind of driving at is, additional water for the area here. The Conservancy District is working very closely with, our legislators and even some other individuals where it looks like we'll be able to increase the delivery lines from the Bothwell Pocket into Tremont and other surrounding areas. That will be a significant increase. Well, I think we've got right now, 12-inch line?
12-inch.
It's a 12-inch line coming into Tremont from the Bothwell Pocket, and they're going to put in another additional 16-inch line.
Oh, that would be great.
And so that's addressing what your concern was, what the citizen's concern is. What are some additional sources of water that are going to be coming into the area? And
there is the county water master plan that's in the works. I would say bottom line, that what our valley really needs to do in our city is a lot of what we are already doing. The irrigation water that's there already, like Bear River Canal Company diverts 220,000 acre feet plus every single year. That's a tremendous amount of water, and that needs to remain in place. And all of the other sources pale in comparison to that. But I think, if we can start developing some of those other sources, more water out of Bothwell, drilling a well in Honeyville, some of these other things, like if we use that water for culinary water and we use the irrigation water for irrigation and we maintain those separate systems, I think we're gonna be okay.
And we're building capacity as the secondary water system is developing in the city. That demand for culinary is starting to level out. And we're actually creating quite a bit of capacity with our culinary water as a result of and going over to the secondary water system.
Yeah,
And so that's really making a difference to, to us. And theoretically, over time, that culinary water demand in the summertime will go down and down, and creating more capacity.
and there's a lot we can still do to conserve and protect that water, the culinary water that we have. I mean, I've seen several small things add up to more than something small, but as I've been around town, I've seen swamp coolers on roofs of a business, and it is just gushing water out of there, and it's just going down into the drain. There's 100 things that we can do to conserve water. We can continue to work with the factories and the large water users and incentivize conserving the water. There's a lot we can do and we'll need to do. But we will need to develop some other culinary sources.
I'd like to see at some point on our website or whatnot, a nice little dashboard indicator that shows the water. Because that's one of the biggest questions people have all the time. Where are we at on our water? And if they could see on there,
I can tell you
we're
right where
fine.
we're at on our
You
water.
can, but they can't. They can't
Well,
see
no,
it. Yeah.
I put this out,
Okay.
and I put this out several times. So, but I think you're right, though. We need to put this out again.
And we might be going into a heavy drought again. I sure hope not, but it's been a really dry summer.
Yeah.
And it's not good.
All right. Thanks,
you.
Carl. Let's see.
Can I ask a question regarding what you just?
Carl can go out and answer your question out there in the hallway. Let's go ahead and lost my place here. Council reports. Let's start over here with Wes.
I've seen it firsthand and proud of all of our employees with the tragedy that we've had. I've seen them pull together here. I've seen them pull together down there. Food pantry. I mean, I really believe that it's pulled our community back together, and our employees have been outstanding in everything that they've done, from the flags and all that kind of stuff. And the city, Carl was good enough to just send a truck and a backhoe up to that house to haul some of the big stuff off. But the volunteers, well, your tractor was there too, but the volunteers have, I think, made that look very, very nice, presentable for our kids to walk by. And it is amazing. I live just 4 houses down, whatever, and it's surprising how many people drive by just to see. But I want to thank all of us for what we've done and gonna do and things like that. And now's the time we can see we gotta bond together, and no divisions, nothing like that, or because we still got a lot of healing to do too. That's all I got.
Ditto. Thank you for all the city did, and city council and the mayor. I've got a few concerns I've had brought up, and so I'd like to ask those now. And Jeff, if you'll answer these 3 questions. Can the city planner provide a summary of landmark design invoices over the past 12 months, at least discuss about their scope of practice for landmark design? Can we leverage the existing city planning staff to develop more in-house rather than use those? And I think you can address that all in one discussion. And what are the benefits or drawbacks of continuing to use landmark design versus our own planning committee. So if you wouldn't mind taking a few minutes on that.
Landmark started working with the city back, and I don't know how Sean had this foresight, but their initial service that they provided was helping Sean with the water conservation plan. And we had that fully done and adopted before the state started hosting trainings on it. And to me, that really encapsulates what Landmark's been able to provide the city is extra capacity and extra expertise to a new department. So I'll be the first to tell you, I know quite a bit about land use, but I don't know everything about it. Landmark, now that since I've been hired, has really been on a project by project basis. The 4 projects we have going on right now with them are the Main Street revitalization. Sam and his team are the landscape architects helping with the vegetation selections and designing the amenities that will decorate the street. Same for Midland Square. They helped Jones and Associates with the landscaping plans with some of the colors and finishes that the park will have. The last 2 that are the Main Street mixed use code that we are working on. It's been about 10 chapters of new standards for Main Street, from architectural to use to that'll help really create a theme. We should have that to the Planning Commission late September, early October, to get that adopted as part of the zoning ordinance. The last project they're helping is the Parks Master Plan. Over the last year, I went through and did an analysis. They've put in about 1,000 hours of work, which I don't really have the capacity to add that into all the things that Greg and I have been trying to do as a planning department. We spend a lot of our days updating codes ourselves and handling a lot of the day-to-day business, and it's great to have Sam's team is support to really back, to really be a soundboard, but also to bring some value into vetting out ideas I have for the direction of the city zoning and land use. So at this point, we've been working with them for about 6.5 years as a city. They have a lot of institutional knowledge. They've been through a lot of the growing pains with the city, and I value Sam and Mark and Amy and all of his team's opinions with the stuff we have going on. So that's where we're at with them.
And then one other thing, if you just take a few minutes and explain PUDs, because I've had so many people hit me up on PUDs.
Yeah.
And one of the big questions they have is, all right, so development, as something's zoned, and then we say, then they can use this PUD. Well, what approval processes are needed after we approve a zoning? And are there approval processes for the PUD? So
Yes.
could you take a minute and explain that to the citizens?
For better or worse, what used to be used were overlay zones. If you want a really good section of our zoning code that rivals the Isaiah portions of the second Nephi, go crack that one open. It's some really interesting literature. I say that because there's no consistency through it. We have, it's our longest chapter of zoning code, and there's no consistency between how these developments came to exist. You know, we've got like the Aspen Ridge development there by the South Stake Center that is 200 and something townhomes that connect from Rock Road to 600 South. No one really has an idea how that happened. River's Edge is an overlay. My neighborhood is an overlay. They created such a diverse end of product. So one of the first things I worked on when I got here was the PUD ordinance with the Planning Commission. the purpose behind it was to standardize how developers could get extra houses by creating a point system. That point system would be put into the development agreement, and bonuses or anything would be added into it and brought to the city council. It also would go through the planning commission as well. It is part of the preliminary plat. Where this helps to the city a lot is because it's now a chapter of zoning code and we don't have as much into development agreements, it's standardized this process, but it's also lessened the city's liability by having all of it in contract. When we switch from zoning code into development agreements, it changes what litigation would happen in case of a lawsuit. So Bill and I both were agreed that we'd rather have it in the zoning code where it's there and it's standardized and it decreases the city's liability. So that's what created it. What we mean by base zoning is that every one of our zones is equivalent to some units per acre. The PUD allows for developers to take that units per acre and create whatever multi-residential product type they would like. So they can do bigger lots that would fit, they could do some smaller lots, they could do townhomes, apartments, whatever housing product they would like, they can use and until they get max out those units per acre. Once that's done, then they can work with the city on either dedicating it as open space for a park, they can work with the city, but this allows for us to kind of diversify the housing products we see in Tremont. As for the approval process, it would start with DRC, bringing in an application saying this is what we'd like to do with the development. We would review that it would make code, and then as we're working through the preliminary plat, that would go to the planning commission for review. And then once the DA would be done before final plat, that would come to the city council. So all of it would be negotiated as part of with the development review committee, and then come to both of the legislative groups for review and approval.
Okay, so then if we have a zone that's set, then they come back, the developer comes back and they want to use this PUD, they'll present it to your
DRC.
DRC, and then you'll go through that process.
Yeah.
Okay,
So they'll outline then too. This also allows the PUD is the last leg the state has given cities to enforce any architectural standards, which was one of the things that Bill and was a little bit more passionate about, was trying to help govern a little bit that we get housing products that look good, that keep their curb appeal through weathering, that we get we don't just get all vinyl siding, and we work on that. So that's one benefit. The point system though is something that, and the PUD ordinance still hasn't been used yet, but it's something I look forward to seeing with some of the hillside development and some of the with like the Calder annexation or development south. So
Okay.
and I've only got one other thing, I'm sorry. I had another citizen bring up, and you guys, over there on 600 North where Alice C. Harris is at, and you're walking down 600 and you're going to the North Park, when they're getting out of school, that's a nightmare along there.
Where at?
600 North, down your
Fourth
street.
east, yeah,
Yeah, and so
At the
from,
four-way?
fourth west.
yeah,
there is no
you know,
four-way on 600 North.
yeah, where the dental office is at,
I'm thinking,
Yeah, they need a
white dentists and all that.
oh, you're talking further.
Yeah,
West.
well, and even down on your road, but anyway, there's been a lot of concerns brought up about the safety of that area, the kids getting across the road safely. We have lots of buses, lots of cars. And I'll bring this up with the chief and we can probably address it a little bit more. But I'm wondering what we can do, and if we can, what's the road on the east side of Alice C. Harris?
East side?
Yeah, the road that goes north to south on the east.
Oh,
Are you talking about
50 west,
850 west?
something like that. I mean,
That's right.
the one that goes into Archibald's 900. So
Is there any way that we can turn that into a one-way, if anything, during school hours?
I mean, we did it with North Park.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just wondering what we need to do that, because you've got all those buses going through there and you got all those cars and then you got these other cars trying to sneak through. It's a nightmare along
The
there.
residential area? The
The,
residential?
all of
It's on the
850
edge of it.
West, the whole 850 West, all the way across the east
Clear to them
end.
apartments.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's horrible along there. Anyway,
We need to add that four-way over by my house though. When I sit out on my porch,
yes.
it's just a matter of minutes before a car just
Buzzes
blasts
through there. I
And
saw
I'm
that.
telling you, yeah, you see, they don't realize they're doing it.
No.
It's
it
because
is the
that whole
only-
street, there's no stops except for the tracks. It's just not in their mind. They don't do it on purpose, but someone's going to get hit there.
Yeah, it's the.
I
like
think we
said,
used to stop.
That's the only four-way on 600 between 300 East and 1,000 West. That's the only four-way intersection, and everything
Oh,
else is three-ways.
I think there was a stop on Tremont Street before,
At some
but
point.
there's not one now.
No, it's a three-way
Because
intersection.
I always keep wanting to stop there and
So anyway, I think it's a safety concern we ought to bring up. Could you follow up on that, Dan?
I was just grabbing him on that.
there is
To add to
sidewalk
this, we're
next
gonna
to
be
the
putting
dentist office that needs to be.
the
put
road
in
group
too.
together for the safety.
It gets a
board
little
on
weedy
that.
over
The
there
one
too.
going north and south, right on the dentist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
400
There's no-
West.
there's
Maybe
no
if we can keep the,
sidewalk there.
the weeds and everything along there, could be,
Which one? I missed that. I'm sorry, Mayor.
well, on 600 over there by the dental office, east of the dental office,
At 350
that,
or
that's a
400?
lit-
Fourth.
well, 600.
400 West
Yeah.
for the dentist office and our house, like type thing.
It'd be neat if we could get some of those flashing lights like we have on Main Street right there. But anyway,
I talked to an old coworker that's at Horrocks now about putting 600 North, a few different areas into the Safe Route to School grant program that UDOT has. So we'll be working through that in January when when those
Okay, cool.
open back up.
cool.
Okay,
Whether UDOT bites on it or not, I
Yeah.
don't know.
That's all I have.
all right.
Sorry.
All right, Brett, Blair?
I'm just the same with, I wish the whole community, all of us could have, without having something like this happen, have the same priorities or what's really a priority.
Pride.
Everybody's got it, and unfortunately, it'll go away. I mean, if all of us has even experienced a death in your family, your prioritization changes, and then it kind of goes back. But I mean, it's been hard. This seat up here, especially, I think the mayor, all the stuff that's required on all this TV stuff, and it's just daunting. So I appreciate it. I'm proud to be from here, but I think we need to stay out of the news after this, so.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I agree that, was it Tuesday, Monday? It was Monday night that we had the procession. You know, I stood there just proud to be from Tremont, and as I watched the citizens turn out, and that's the people I serve, and I loved it. And, you know, you mentioned it. There's a lot of people in the city that do day in and day out jobs that go unrecognized. You know, Cynthia and Greg and Lindsay, you know, there's a lot, everybody, Zach. Yeah, I mean, the work he's put in this week, you know, we owe a lot of gratitude to you guys for all you do. And hopefully, you know, as council, as we try to report to the public and do the things that are right, that, you know, you never feel challenged. And if you do, we apologize, but just know you're appreciated. And as we see the RDA start to, you know, produce fruit over the next coming years, and we get to see the Main Street proposals, and there's been a lot of stuff that over the years has been teeing up for a really bright future. And I'm excited for what that means. Economic development is going to be fun over the next 5 years. And we're just getting started with, you know, the Main Street project. I think that's going to spur a lot of economic development. As we can set the vision for the sports complex, having that study is going to give us the ability to leverage that vision of where it's headed. So vision is key, and I'm glad to see those pieces starting to come into place.
Couple things, or just maybe one. Have we discussed a potential mural for Lee and Eric? I mean, this town has such beautiful murals.
I was going to address that in just a little bit.
Oh, you are? Okay. If I could go back then, I should have reviewed this during the calendar. I had just a request for you to consider. We've got the meeting on the 2nd that's canceled, correct? And then we have the opportunity to attend the planning commission on the 9th. And, but why I'm even saying this is we have 5 Tuesdays this month. Well, then, we have city council on the 16th, and where I'm selfishly asking is, I have just one more conflict this year where I have to be out of town with a conference. Is there any way we could possibly move that to the 23rd, since
Nope.
we have the 30th as well? I wouldn't,
If you can't Zoom, it's okay.
yeah.
Well, I don't know.
It still would give us the 30th before we meet again on the 7th, is the only reason I ask. It's not a big deal. I just hate to miss.
Appreciate that.
Oh, that's right.
So, I don't need an answer today, but if we can consider it. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. I want to second everything that's been mentioned tonight with regard to the officers and the deputy. Our hearts go out to their families. We couldn't be more appreciative of the service that law enforcement provides for us, but not just our law enforcement, for all of the different departments and for what you do. We appreciate you so very much. I wanted to just report on a couple of things. We have our city attorney, Dustin Erickson, has been applying for the judgeship for Box Elder County, and I just want to, just kind of a nod. Everybody's good to go forward. He is will be our judge if that's what everybody feels good about. I just need to call and let them know that we are excited about that, and anyway, so that's coming right up. The other thing, you mentioned a little bit about the mural. I know there's been a lot of people reach out with wanting to do something in recognition of the Officer Estrada and Sergeant Sorensen and Deputy Allred. One thing we do have over at the Midland Square, if you remember, when we designed that, there's the northeast corner. There's will be kind of a quarter circle area right there that we were going to dedicate to law enforcement and the fire and that kind of thing. And so
Northwest, right?
no,
Just make sure-
northeast. No, the northeast. The northwest is for the
I thought the Northwest was gonna be for the armed services, or.
no, it kind of got, the northwest will be for the veterans and that kind of thing. And then the northeast quarter circle will be for, and so there's already been a lot of money collected for this. And so maybe the idea is we want to do some sort of a monument. I've met with Val Lewis, who is the sculptor who did the soldier over at the Borgstrom, over there where the Borgstroms are, the Borgstrom monument is. He did the sculpture there, and he's willing to go ahead and do something and design something that would be maybe something that could work there. But I mean, it's all so fresh in everybody, and it's just getting started. what we probably need to do is have a group get together and so we can come up with something that will be appropriate and move forward with that. But that's, in my mind at least, that's kind of what we had reserved, that northeast corner for something like this and to recognize the others. And so that's the Midland will be, it's going to, you can see it's going to start coming together pretty fast now. There's going to have, they're going to come in and put in the water, the power's all in and all that kind of thing. And they're almost through with the bathroom. So we're excited about where things are going with that. And it should be wrapping up sometime in October.
One thing, Mayor, I want to make it known that I probably spent a little too much time on Facebook, and all these ideas that we talked about that night are coming out. You know, our quick little meeting that we had, we said, we're gonna do something big for them, we're gonna Midland Square and all that. I want people to know that was the council's ideas, not somebody off of Facebook's ideas.
Oh,
Just want to make that clear.
okay. Anyway, we are, we're all devastated by this, and I can't express that enough. We are all devastated, and we want to show our appreciation. And, it was mentioned, we need to keep this unity going. It's easy to be that way right now. Everybody's concerned, and everybody's trying to help, but life goes on, and sometimes we kind of tend to fall back into our old habits and stuff. So I'm hoping we keep going. Let's bring this community together in the best way we know how. But that's all I have. Council, we need, there was one more closed session we need to do. Jeff, it's hopefully just Paquito. Anyway.
I'll make a motion, we go into closed session.
Okay.
Second.
Motion by Wes and seconded by Bo. So we'll be going into closed session now. Thank you, everybody, for showing. Do you have any